The silence is deafening, isn't it? It's not a peaceful quiet. It's a heavy, thick, suffocating silence that screams 1,000 unanswered questions. You stare at your phone, that little black mirror reflecting your own aching confusion back at you. You scroll through the empty chat log, the last message you sent hanging in the digital void like a single astronaut cut from the tether, drifting further and further into the cold, dark expanse of space. And your mind is racing, a frantic hamster on a wheel of pain, asking one relentless, torturous question on a loop. What are they thinking? Do they miss me? Are they in as much agony as I am? What is happening over there? Let me tell you something right now, and I need you to feel this in your bones. That very question, what is happening over there, is a trap. It's a cage you have built for your own soul. Because the real transformation, the real power, the real journey from pain to purpose does not lie in deciphering their silence. It lies in harnessing the monumental power of yours. This isn't about a game of who breaks first. This is about a sacred stand you take for your own life. When two people stop contacting each other, especially when one has an avoidant heart, the universe doesn't just pause. It presents you with a fork in the road of your destiny. One path leads you deeper into the forest of their mystery, a place where you will remain lost, small, and desperate. The other path, the one less traveled, the one that requires immense courage, leads you back to the most important person you will ever know, yourself. So I ask you, in this profound and pivotal moment of silence, which path will you choose? For so long, you have been operating under a massive, soul-crushing illusion. You believe that if you just loved enough, if you were just patient enough, if you just found the right words, the right tone, the right moment, you could control the outcome. You could make them see, make them feel, make them stay. You have been trying to single-handedly keep a boat afloat that has a giant hole drilled directly through its hull by the other person's inability to connect. The moment contact stops, that illusion is violently and mercifully shattered. The boat sinks, and you are left treading water in the vast, open ocean of reality. And this, my friend, is where your life truly begins, because you are finally forced to stop pouring your energy, your life force, your precious love into a black hole. That energy is now fantanning back to you, and it is overwhelming, it is chaotic, it feels like pain, but it is pure, unadulterated power. This is the moment you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, another human being's heart, their fears, their capacity. You have been a gardener desperately trying to tend a plant that refuses to root, all the while neglecting the fertile soil of your own spirit. The silence is the storm that forces you to look at your own barren landscape. And now, the real work can start. Empowerment is not about getting what you want from the world. It's about realizing you are the source of what you need. It's about understanding that your sense of security, your validation, your worth cannot be outsourced. It must be generated from within. Every second you spent anxiously awaiting a text was a second you disempowered yourself. Every moment you spent crafting the perfect message to elicit a response was a moment you gave your power away. Now, in the deafening quiet, you have the opportunity to take it all back. This is not a passive waiting game. This is an active reclamation. It's you standing in the center of your life, declaring that you will no longer be a prisoner to someone else's emotional unavailability. The withdrawal of their contact is the universe's intervention. It is the necessary crisis that breaks you free from the addiction of their potential. You start to realize that you were not in love with the reality of them, but with the fantasy of what they could be and what you could be together. Letting go of that fantasy is the first, most critical step toward building a reality for yourself that is so magnetic, so fulfilling, so authentically you, that whether or not they ever come back becomes irrelevant. You stop asking, do they want me? And you start demanding of yourself, what do I want for me? That is the genesis of a force that can move mountains. Nature abhors a vacuum, and so does the human psyche. The space left by their absence will not remain empty for long. It will either be filled with the ghosts of the past, the pain, the longing, the obsessive thoughts, or it will be filled with the materials of your future self. This period of no contact is not a passive void, it is an active crucible. A crucible is a container designed to withstand incredibly high temperatures, used to melt metals and transform them into something new, something stronger. You are in the crucible right now. The heat is the pain of withdrawal. the grief of what was lost, the fear of the unknown, and you have a choice. You can let it consume you, or you can use it to forge a new identity. This is where you stop being the person who was defined by that relationship. You are being given the rarest of gifts, a blank slate. Who have you always wanted to be? What parts of yourself did you compromise to make that relationship work? What passions did you set aside? What friendships did you neglect? What mission did you abandon? Now is the time to pick them back up. This is not about staying busy to distract yourself. This is about a fundamental rewiring of your identity. It's about taking that immense emotional energy that was once directed outward and channeling it inward with laser focus. Go to the gym not to get a revenge body, but to prove to yourself that you can show up for yourself when it's hard. Read that book. Learn that skill. Pour yourself into your career not as an escape, but as an expression of your own competence and value. Every action you take for self-improvement in this period is a brick you are laying in the foundation of your new life. It is a declaration to your subconscious mind. I am worth the effort. My future is worth building. You will have bad days. The pain will resurface. But when it does, you will no longer be the same person who was crushed by it. You will be the person who has been forged in fire. You will have the evidence of your own growth. The stronger body, the new knowledge, the completed project, the rebuilt friendship, to remind you of your resilience. The old you was contingent on their presence. The new you is being built piece by piece in their absence. And this new identity, forged in the crucible of silence, is unshakable because it was built by you, for you, from the raw materials of your own soul. What you are experiencing is not just a broken heart, it's a broken addiction. The dynamic with an avoidant partner often creates a powerful psychological trap known as a trauma bond. It's a cycle of intermittent reinforcement, hot and cold, push and pull, validation and withdrawal, that is neurologically identical to gambling. You are hooked on the dopamine hit of their occasional affection, their rare moments of vulnerability, because you never know when the next one is coming. It's the slot machine that occasionally pays out just enough to keep you pulling the lever, pouring your life savings into a machine designed to bankrupt you. When you stop contact, you are going through a literal withdrawal. Your brain is screaming for its fix. The anxiety, the obsessive thoughts, the physical ache, this is your neurology recalibrating from a state of addiction to a state of equilibrium. It feels like you are dying because the addictive cycle is dying, and you must let it die. Every time you resist the urge to reach out, you are not just exercising willpower, you are performing neurosurgery on your own brain. You are severing the neural pathways that kept you enslaved to that cycle and creating new ones based on self-respect and consistency. You are teaching your amygdala, your fear center, that the world does not end when you don't get that hit of external validation. You are teaching yourself that you can self-soothe, that you can provide your own sense of safety. This is the reclamation of your neurological freedom. It's about moving from a state of reactive desperation to a state of proactive calm. It's about decoupling your sense of self from the roller coaster of their availability. This process is brutal, and it is also the most liberating thing you will ever do for yourself. You are breaking the chains you cannot see, the chains that were wrapped around your very mind. Once you break this bond, you will never be able to tolerate such inconsistency again. You will have raised your internal bar. Your nervous system will crave peace, not drama. It will seek out connection that is consistent, nourishing, and safe, because you have done the work to detoxify yourself from the addiction of anxiety. The silence is your rehab. Embrace the shakes, embrace the pain, because on the other side of it is a freedom so profound that you will look back on this period not with sadness, but as the moment you took your mind back. Your pull towards the avoidant, the intense anxiety you felt, the desperate need for reassurance. These aren't random. They are the echoes of your earliest blueprints for love and connection formed in childhood. We are drawn to familiar dynamics, even painful ones, because the brain mistakes familiarity for safety. The avoidant anxious dance is a painful recreation of an old wound. The silence, therefore, is not just about this one person. It is a direct confrontation with that original wound. And the only way to heal it is to become the parent you needed back then to yourself right now. This is called self-parenting. It is the conscious, daily practice of giving yourself the unconditional love, validation, and security you have been desperately seeking from another person. When the anxiety of their absence hits, instead of frantically seeking to fill the void, you turn inward. You put your hand on your heart and you say, I am here. I see you are scared. I feel you are in pain. I've got you. You are safe. You are enough. You become the reliable, attuned, nurturing presence that the avoidant could never be and that you may have never had. You stop abandoning yourself in your quest to get someone else to stay. This is the very foundation of building a secure attachment with yourself. You learn to meet your own needs. You learn to celebrate your own wins. You learn to comfort yourself through your own losses. You set loving but firm boundaries with yourself and others. You become your own home. When you do this, something miraculous happens. You no longer need a relationship to feel whole. You enter relationships from a place of wholeness, from a place of desire, not deficit. This transforms everything. You stop being attracted to the chaotic, unavailable energy of an avoidant because it feels foreign and unsafe to your newly secured nervous system. You become a magnet for health, for consistency, for mature, available love, because that is the energy you are now generating from within. The silence with the avoidant is the universe's brutal but effective way of forcing you to build this inner security. It is the boot camp for your soul, training you to rely on the one person who will never leave you. Distance provides perspective. While you are in the thick of the dynamic, you are like a soldier in the trenches. You can't see the whole battlefield. You're just reacting to the incoming fire, the smoke, the chaos. The silence, the no contact, is you being airlifted out of that trench and lifted up in a helicopter, giving you a bird's eye view of the entire landscape. From this new vantage point, the fog clears. The patterns become stunningly and sometimes painfully clear. You see the push-pull cycle with a new objectivity. You see the times you were devalued. You see the moments your needs were dismissed. You see the imbalance of effort. You see the reality of the situation, stripped of the fantasy you had painted over it. This clarity is not about villainizing the other person. Avoidants are not villains. They are wounded people acting out their own deep-seated fears of engulfment and abandonment. This clarity is about freeing yourself. It's about seeing the system for what it was, a dysfunctional dance between two wounded partners, not the epic love story you believed it to be. This clarity is your most powerful weapon against backsliding. When the loneliness hits and you are tempted to break no contact, you can recall this crystal clear perspective. You can remember the concrete reality of the pain, the anxiety, the feeling of being unseen and unheard. You can see that going back would not be a return to love, but a return to a familiar prison. This clarity also allows you to take radical responsibility for your part, not from a place of self-blame, but from a place of power. You can see how your own anxious patterns, your own abandonment wounds contributed to the dance. This is gold, because what you can see, you can change. This clarity is the blueprint for your future. It teaches you the specific red flags to avoid. It shows you the kind of communication you require. It defines the non-negotiable values you need in a partner. The end of this relationship, held in the light of this new clarity, becomes the most valuable masterclass you will ever take on love and self-respect. The universe operates on laws of energy. One of the most fundamental is the law of reciprocity. What you put out, you get back. But there's a higher law, the law of divine reciprocity. This law states that when you have the courage to let go of something that is not for you, no matter how much you wanted it, the universe is obligated to replace it with something that is meant for you. But there's a catch. The new thing cannot come in until the old thing has been cleared out. Holding on to the energy of that dead relationship is like trying to plant a new, vibrant, life-giving tree in a pot that is still filled with the dead roots of the old one. There's no room for it to grow. The silence, the no contact, is you finally, courageously pulling out the dead tree. You are clearing the pot. You are making space by truly, deeply, and authentically moving on, not as a tactic to get them back, but as a genuine choice for your own well-being. You send a powerful signal to the universe. You declare, I value myself too much to remain in a situation that diminishes my light. I am now a vibrational match for respect, for consistency, for passionate and secure love. And the universe must respond. It has no choice. It will bring you people, opportunities, and a love that resonates with this new, higher frequency you are emitting. It might not happen overnight, but it will happen. And when that right person, that right opportunity, that right life comes along, you will be astounded. You will look back at the pain of this separation and you will utter a profound thank you. You will understand that the avoidant person was not your destination. They were a divine detour, a necessary lesson that forced you to grow into the person capable of receiving and giving a love that is truly extraordinary. The end of this chapter is not a tragedy. It is the necessary plot twist that makes the happy ending possible. But that happy ending is not with them. It is with the magnificent life and love you build for yourself, a life that would have been impossible if you had remained trapped in that silent, painful stalemate. In the end, the profound silence that follows a mutual cessation of contact with an avoidant partner is not an ending. It is the most critical beginning of your life's most important chapter. It is the brutal, necessary, and ultimately sacred space where the old you, the you who sought validation from broken places, is dismantled. It is the raw material from which you will build a version of yourself that is so grounded, so whole, and so powerful that the very foundations of your being become unshakable. This journey forces you to stop looking for water in a dry well and instead to drill a well so deep within yourself that you never thirst for another's approval again. The pain you feel is the fuel for this transformation. Every tear shed waters the seeds of your future resilience. Every moment of anxiety you overcome without reaching out for a fix from them is a rep in the gym of your soul, building the muscle of self-reliance. The clarity you gain is not to haunt you with what was, but to illuminate the path forward, ensuring you never again wander down a road that leads to a place of such profound self-abandonment. You are learning the language of your own soul. Remember, the universe is not punishing you with this silence. It is protecting you. It is creating a necessary barrier between the person you were and the person you are destined to become. By honoring this space, by refusing to break it, you are not playing a game. You are making a stand for your destiny. You are declaring that your love, your energy, and your life are precious commodities that will no longer be wasted on a connection that fails to nourish you. So, when you find yourself in that quiet, aching for an answer from them, I challenge you to shift the question. Stop asking, what are they thinking? And start demanding, what am I becoming? The answer to that question holds the key to everything. You are becoming someone who chooses themselves. You are becoming someone who knows their worth. You are becoming someone who is no longer available for dynamics that require you to make yourself small. Let this period of no contact be the cocoon from which you emerge, not as a broken victim of circumstance, but as the hero of your own story, with wings strong enough to carry you to the love and the life you were always meant to have. The silence is not your enemy. It is your greatest teacher. Listen to what it is trying to teach you about you. Thank you for having the courage to be here, to read these words, and to even entertain the possibility that your greatest pain can be the catalyst for your greatest power. Your journey is not over. It is just beginning from a place of truth and strength. Go out today and take one single action, no matter how small, that honors the incredible person you are and the magnificent person you are becoming. I believe in you. Now, go and believe in yourself. Goodbye and go live a life you love.